Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Knows in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the spirit. It is titled, It's All Part of the Plan, the global rollout through manufactured crisis. And when you manufacture something, that means that you're totally making it up or you're causing it, like manufacturing goods, right? But this manufactured crisis, which is part of the Great Reset, which they've been talking about really since 2020, but putting emphasis on it in 2023. In Davos, the elites, or the lower level elites of the world, was pretty much telling you straightforward that they was getting ready to do a global reset. But people made light of it, because they didn't think that this can ever happen in what they call America or Babylon the Great, and just in the West in general. But now what you're seeing is a breakdown of systems, from cyber attacks to the government putting a plug on certain grids, to taxes going up, to rents. I mean, the whole system is getting ready to melt down, because once they opt into this new system, everything is going to be on a digital grid. So they have to totally break this system down in order to get people to comply, because next they're attacking a food source, with these tariffs and possibly shelves being empty at the end of the month. The food source is up next. And when food insecurities become a thing, that's when people are going to start to be brought. I see he's slowly pulling at the scab at you people, man, and then he's just going to stick it in. Okay, he's building you up gradually and mentally to be, how can I say it? Yeah, he's psychologically building the people up by breaking them down by these particular crises, and when shit really hits the fan and when people are not aware enough, that's when they're going to hit you with the food crisis. And when the food crisis comes, that's when all hell gonna break loose. When people can't get food or they don't have the ability to sustain themselves, that's when people are gonna start, shit is gonna start to hit the fan. All right, so this is a video I'm gonna play. It's about 11 minutes long, but I'm gonna kind of interject in between and possibly not play the whole entire video, but we're gonna get the points and we'll take it from there. But let me read this precept first. This is the book of 2nd Esdras 8 and 50, because this is where we at. It says, for many great misery should be done to them that in a lot of time should dwell in the world, because they have walked with great pride. Okay, so this is really due to the pride of you people. This is basically you getting your just due, because you've been proud. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has rendered you a recompense, man. And the people, they're not too happy about it. You see? But anyway, without further delay, I'm going to play a couple of minutes of the video and we'll get the rest of the precepts. So here we go.
And this could be impacting your loved ones right now in Puerto Rico, as most of Puerto Rico is waking up without power this morning. Another blackout plunging the island into darkness. Right now, crews are racing to get the power back on ahead of Easter weekend. New video I want to show you here from overnight, showing neighborhoods being lit up only by the headlights of passing cars. The power company says a combination of factors led to this blackout, and all power might not be back for at least the next 2 days. I want to give you the very latest at this hour we have from Luma. We've calculated the outages for you. About 75% of the island is without power at this hour. In populated areas like the capital, San Juan, just over 20% now have the power back. And in Bayamon, close to 40% of customers have had power restored. But the dominoes keep falling here because of those power problems. We're now learning close to 78,000 people are without water service. Well, the blackout hitting yesterday around lunchtime. And check this out. Stranded passengers had to walk the elevated tracks. This when that automated train they were on stalled out when the power went out. Well, the blackout now the latest in a string of major outages on the island in recent years. The latest major outage happening less than 5 months ago on New Year's Eve. We'll keep you posted.
Millions of people in Spain, Portugal, and parts of France are without power because of an unknown grid issue. Authorities are asking people to stay at home and stay off the roads while emergency generators are being put in place. ABC News foreign correspondent Marcus Moore is following that story for us. Marcus, what's the latest?
Well, hey, Diane, we know that the power is still off to large portions of Spain, for sure, we know about, and also assessing the situation in Portugal. We do know that they have been able to restore power, according to reports, to parts of France. But this is really having a huge disruption on people in Spain. It happened right around midday, and you're seeing these images of people working and going about their day in the dark. This looks like a store where people were shopping. We've also seen, Diane, images of people who were on the metro.
And see, they were talking about blackouts, man. You know? So people, when they have disruption to internet services and all this other stuff, man, hey, it's a wrap. They don't have the access like out there in Spain. They was locked in elevators, phone services were down. This is all just a part of a of a psyop, man. You know? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Slocky, give me 1 second. You know, and going back to what they were saying, people was without water and without power. And water is an essential, especially, you know, when you need to get your things done, like your cooking and your bathing and all that other stuff. Water is pretty much the most important resource you can have, you know. And if you don't have these basic necessities, then what? People are going to start bugging the fuck out. And this is what we're seeing. All right. So going back, it says, and he answered me saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world for few to come. Okay, and we're in an evil time because the people have lived deliciously off Babylon. You know, they've lived, they fared well, they supped well. Like when you go into the story of Lazarus and the rich man, you know, it goes into Lazarus, which is the poor man, and then you got the rich man. You know, and matter of fact, let me do this real quick. I think the beggar Lazarus, which represents us, you know, it represents us being in this low state, and the rich man being the elites of the society. But now you got the common Edomite that's as poor as the common Negro, man, you know, and they have an issue with that. So what do you think is going to happen? Hell is getting ready to break loose. And it says, and he said, and he answered me saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world for few to come. And the next world is for the elect. Okay, really the nation of Israel, but starting with the elect first. Okay, we're going to get the top dibs on everything. We're going to get the women. We're going to get the gold, the silver. We're going to get the kingdom. We're going to, the first fruits. We're literally going to have the creme de la creme of existence. You know, because we've been without on this side. We haven't had the luxury of living on this side, man. You know, now the Lord has been sustaining, brothers, but overall, that's just sustaining. We're not living, okay? We're not enjoying our lives for real. You know, we may have a little few trinkets and gadgets here and there to keep us preoccupied, but this ain't living, man. A king of the universe and his men under him, okay? We're joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. That's being subjugated to a 1,200 square foot apartment or a house or a 600 square foot studio. That ain't a life, man. You know, but you learn to make the best out of it, but it's not a fucking life. And it says, and I would tell thee a similitude, Esdras. It says, as when thou askest the earth, it should say unto thee that it give it much mold thereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of this present world. So basically, the bad gonna out mitigate the good on his side, all right? We're that small dust that cometh forth of the earth on this side, all right? But the most of these people are dross, and they're earth. They're esteemed as nothing, you know? So anyway, let's keep going.
Metro system, they had to get off of those trains and were seen walking down the tracks, these dark tunnels, trying to get to a better place. And of course, there has been a disruption to travel. The main airport in Madrid was without power. We understand that they do have backup generators, And while there is some electricity that's coming through those generators, this has caused a major delay and backup for a lot of the air travel. And we've seen travelers who have been left stranded at this point. And Diane, you just mentioned it right now. There's no clear indication on exactly what caused this, if this was some issue with the power grid or something else. Spain's cybersecurity agency is investigating, as well as Spain's National Intelligence Agency. So it would seem that at this point, they're not ruling anything out in terms of a possible cause. Diane.
All right, Marcus Moore, thank you.
¿Qué? Ayuda. ¿Dónde está, bro? El normal. Sí, el principal. No tenemos servicio.
Oye, el gato, el día calado, oye, el gato, la madre lo trae. Ahora métete otra vez ahí, mañana. Flipa. La cara, mira cómo se pone a morder. Ay, que le dan la carita. Uy.
Un segundo.
And this is the reality of it, is when power and services is disrupted, then you better believe elderly people, as I was mentioning in your transit yesterday. You're gonna have elderly people, man. You know, people that's sick, people that's without, homeless people. You know, it's gonna be the common norm here. But anyway, the scriptures goes into darkness as well. So this is the book of Exodus 10, and I'm gonna start at verses 21. And it reads, it says, "And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand towards heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt." Now, this is talking about ancient Egypt, but we're in modern day Egypt now, aka America, aka Babylon the Great. And the same plagues that hit ancient Egypt is going to hit America as well. And it says that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. So it was so dark to the point you couldn't even see your hand before you, or if you was to light a light or a match, you wouldn't be able to see the fire before you, because that was a different type of darkness. Okay, I like to speculate through the spirit that the Most High opened up the veil to the fourth dimension and it merged with the third dimension, in that darkness, you know, from those spirits and apparitions, because it tells us that the Most High have sent evil angels among them, you know, so that darkness which can be felt is also talking about those spirits, because, hey, we know that ancient Egypt was plagued with demons, man, because for one thing, the Most High opened up the fourth dimension, and second of all, the Egyptians, they went to some heavy level, or some high level sorcery. No different than here in America, man. You know, you got the religion of Wiccan or witchcraft that's pretty prominent here in America, and it's a openly practiced religion for the most part. Okay, everybody and their mother are talking about, oh yeah, I'm spiritual. You know, but if they understood what that meant, you know, they would think twice about it. But these people are wicked. And it says here, "And Moses stretched forth his hand towards heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. And they saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwelling places." All right. So when you go, we was in the land of Goshen, I believe. And we had light. We was able to sustain ourselves. But the Egyptians, he plagued their asses, man. So on this side, the same account, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to plague those Egyptians the same way. And not only them, you Jakes as well, because you Jakes make up modern day Egyptians as well. Okay, because you come in the same spirit. And you definitely are not operating in the spirit and the vibration of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
I really hope y'all are paying attention, because Citibank
is having a nationwide outage currently as of the time of you watching this video.
Yeah, and this was the video from the other day. You know, Citibank went down as well. Customers couldn't get their money out for some time. You know, so this is becoming a norm, bank runs, right? Because when they shut everything down, it ain't gonna be no ATMs you can get because everything is through digital means, right?
No.
And the cash that you so happens to get out of them, if you so happens to break into ATM, shit. Hold on, Slocky. Show ass down, man. Fucking bugs. Slocky, man. Kill a fucking fly. But anyway, the money ain't gonna be worth anything. You know, digital assets is what they're gonna use.
And
let's fast forward it. Let's do this. These are the tariffs, which we're all familiar with. All right, so let's go here to the book of 2nd Esdras, the 14th chapter. And let's start at, let's start at verses 11. It says, "For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10th part of it are gone already, and a half of the 10th part." So you got, what, the 10,000, I think it's 10,500, if I'm not mistaken. And Esdras from Yahushua was roughly, I think it was roughly 400 or 500 years. So when Yahushua came on the scene, we were already pretty much at the beginning, or pretty much we were already getting ready to enter into that 12th part. You know, because it says here, the world was divided into 12 parts. We're in the 12th part now, and the 10th part of it are gone already, and a half of a 10th part, and there remained that which is after the half of the 10th part. So we had the other half, which we're in the 12,000 part now, or the 12th part, okay, which this is the end, you know, because everything is pretty much spiritual into increments of 12, all right, going into the dispensations of time and the time periods, man, and Yahushua is getting ready to come. He's getting ready to return in his time in the 12th part. And it says, "And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. Now therefore set thy house in order and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble and renounce corruption." So this is why we're teaching. We're trying to give our people comfort and let them know that there's a change. Hope is coming. Okay, there will be a time of restoration of all things. We don't have to be under this oppressive system no more. We've been oppressed damn near since we've been a nation, man. 40 years of peace. And, you know, we've had little semblances of upbringings here and there throughout captivities, you know, like when we was brought back from exile during the Babylonian captivity. You know, we had times that we was able to build the temple and commemorate Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but those periods were very short-lived, man. All right, and now we've been under this Edomite going on 600 years, you know, give or take, you know, 500 plus years, roughly 600 some years. And this man has been ruling over us. We don't know what it's like to live. We don't know what it's like to be at peace and to be truly happy, at rest, without worry, without hassle, without oppression. We don't know what it's like to be that way, man. You know, only thing we know is being fucking slaves, man, to sum it all up. Getting up, going to work, debt, jail, death, wicked women, poisonous foods, poisonous water, expenses you can't afford, child support letter. That's all the fuck we know as people, man. And that shit gets old. It gets tiring, and it's just like, you know what? I don't even take this place serious anymore. You know, but it's vexing because it's just like, how you the creator of a game and you being rigged into a game you've created to lose. It's like, what the hell? I created this game. How the hell am I being beat by the AI when I created it? Because we helped Yahushua create this simulation that you call fucking life, man. You know, the Most High, Yahweh, spoke the word, which is Yahushua, and he gave him the power to create everything. And we were joint heirs in that. And we're on the bottom. That should piss any man off. That's in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. As the scriptures say, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. And you should be mad. If you're not mad, it's because you're just not in the right spirit. But it says, let thee go from mortal thoughts and cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste to flee from these times, right? We're hasting, praying. All right, let's get the hell up out of here, man. You know, haste to flee from these times and renounce corruption, wickedness. And it says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen should be done hereafter. And we're in the time of the evils, and we ain't seen evil yet. Even though we are in the evil, dark, depressing time, nothing ain't happened. We ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, this is just the ice. This is not even the icing on the cake. This is not even the tip of the iceberg yet. Okay, Titanic just collided with the iceberg. We ain't even, we're just begun sinking, but the ship ain't fully underwater yet. You still got people lying down in their beds. Like when the Titanic sunk, everybody didn't get that warning, man. Only the rich people. But you had people still down there in the boiler rooms, putting the coal inside the burners to keep, the ship, the heat up so it can float. You had people that were still in their beds. You had people that were still in dinner, lounging. And this is what you're seeing here. Like I'm looking across from my yard here. They cut down all our nature. Now they put a fucking coffee shop that I had to look at out my window, which was beautiful trees at a point in time. Beautiful. Couldn't even see the road. Now, the only thing I'm seeing is businesses, construction trucks, and they're getting ready to build a fucking credit union right in our backyard. Like, why? Just like, why, bro? Like, seriously, we could have done without that. But it says here, for yet even greater evils than those which thou hast seen should be done hereafter. It says, for look how much the world should be weaker through age, and so much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein, right? So things are getting ready to get really, really graphic out here, man. All right, things are getting ready to turn up. I think it was another one, if I'm not mistaken, goes into the evil times. Maybe another one I was thinking about. I know it's this scripture in particular, but it was another one that went into how the evil should be increased as well. Was that 2nd Ezra 4? I don't think so. Anyway, I don't believe so. But anyway, let's play a couple more minutes of this video. Matter of fact, that's the point. I made the point already, so we can end it. Giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Kakwadash. Lord's will, you will edify until the next lesson. Shalom.